Yellowstone National Park is in store for some major changes in the near future. The world's first national park has been attracting visitors for more than 150 years. But what will it look like in 20 years, 100 years, or perhaps even longer? From new hiking trails to geothermal wonders, here are just a few ways that Yellowstone might evolve over time. Yellowstone Caldera. Yellowstone National Park is renowned for its geothermal features, including geysers, hot springs, and mud pots. These features are powered by the heat from the Yellowstone Caldera, also known as the Yellowstone Supervolcano. The caldera is one of the largest in the world and is responsible for some of the most impressive geological features in the park. However, the caldera is also a ticking time bomb, as it has the potential to cause massive damage if it erupts. In recent years, scientists have become increasingly concerned about the possibility of an eruption at Yellowstone and have been closely monitoring the activity of the volcano. While the chances of an eruption in our lifetime are slim, it's still possible that a major volcanic event could occur in the future. If an eruption does occur, it would have devastating consequences for Yellowstone and the surrounding areas. The blast radius alone would likely destroy much of the park, and the ash cloud would cover much of the western United States. It's unclear how long it would take for Yellowstone to recover from such a disaster, but it's safe to say that the park would be changed forever. Rising sea levels. One of the most significant changes that Yellowstone could face in the future is rising sea levels. As the climate continues to warm, glaciers and ice sheets around the world are melting at a rapid rate. This meltwater is flowing into the ocean, causing sea levels to rise. Sea level rise has the potential to inundate coastal areas, leading to the loss of habitat and displacement of wildlife. Additionally, rising sea levels can cause increased erosion and flooding, which can damage infrastructure and impact human populations. At Yellowstone, rising sea levels would likely have the greatest impact on the park's coastal ecosystems. As the water temperature rises, it could lead to the loss of cold water fish species and the introduction of new invasive species. Rising sea levels may also lead to the erosion of shorelines, which would alter the park's landscape. This could have cascading effects on the park's wildlife, leading to habitat loss and changes in species composition. Overall, rising sea levels pose a serious threat to Yellowstone's delicate ecosystem and could lead to significant changes in the park's biodiversity. More earthquakes. Yellowstone National Park sits atop a region of intense seismic activity, making it one of the most seismically active places in the world. In recent years, the park has experienced a swarm of earthquakes that have caused widespread damage and raised concerns about the stability of the area. The earthquakes have occurred in a region known as the Yellowstone Hotspot, which is a plume of magma that has been rising from deep within the Earth's mantle for millions of years. The hotspot is responsible for the formation of Yellowstone's famous geysers and hot springs, but it has also led to increased volcanic and seismic activity. The swarm of earthquakes that have hit Yellowstone in recent years are thought to be related to the movement of magma within the hotspot. As the magma moves, it creates pressure and tension in the surrounding rocks, which eventually release energy in the form of earthquakes. The earthquakes that have struck Yellowstone have ranged in magnitude from 2.5 to 4.3. While these earthquakes have not been large enough to cause significant damage outside of the park, they have caused noticeable tremors within the park. The increased seismic activity has also raised concerns about the potential for a larger earthquake to occur. Scientists are closely monitoring the situation to better understand the cause of the earthquakes and assess the risk of a larger event occurring. If a larger earthquake were to occur, it could cause significant damage to the surrounding areas and disrupt the delicate balance of Yellowstone's ecosystem. A new lake. The idea of a new lake forming in Yellowstone National Park is an exciting prospect that has captured the imagination of many. Proponents of this idea argue that the benefits of having a new lake in the park, such as providing a new habitat for wildlife and creating a new recreational opportunity for visitors, would outweigh any potential risks. However, opponents of the idea point to the potential dangers of creating a new lake in such a volatile geological area. One of the main arguments in favor of creating a new lake in Yellowstone is that it would provide a new habitat for a variety of wildlife species. A lake would provide a new source of food and water for animals in the park and could help to increase the park's biodiversity. Additionally, a lake would create new recreational opportunities for visitors to the park, such as fishing, boating, and swimming. This could help to boost the local economy and provide jobs for people in the surrounding communities. On the other hand, opponents of the idea argue that creating a new lake in Yellowstone would be a risky proposition. The park is located in a seismically active area, and there is always the potential for an earthquake to cause the lake to overflow or break its banks. Additionally, the introduction of a new body of water into the park could have unintended consequences for the local ecosystem. There are also concerns that a new lake could attract invasive species, which could harm the native wildlife. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to create a new lake in Yellowstone National Park is a complex one, with both potential benefits and risks. It would require careful planning and consideration of all of the potential impacts before a final decision is made. Old Faithful Geyser. Old Faithful is one of the most iconic geysers in the world and a major tourist attraction in Yellowstone National Park. The geyser erupts every 90 minutes, shooting hot water and steam high into the air. However, Old Faithful is not immune to the effects of climate change. In recent years, the geyser has been erupting less frequently and with less force. This is due to the fact that warmer temperatures are causing the snow and ice in the surrounding area to melt, which reduces the amount of water available to feed the geyser. As climate change continues to cause temperatures to rise, it is possible that Old Faithful will continue to erupt less frequently and with less vigor. This could have a significant impact on the park's tourism industry, which relies heavily on the geyser's regular eruptions to attract visitors. To mitigate the effects of climate change on Old Faithful, park officials are considering a number of options. One option is to build a water reservoir that would store water from the surrounding area during the summer months when temperatures are at their highest. This would ensure that there is enough water to feed the geyser throughout the year. Another option is to build a series of canals and pumps that would divert water from other parts of the park to Old Faithful. This would allow the geyser to maintain its regular eruption schedule even during periods of low water availability. Whatever steps are taken, it is clear that the future of Old Faithful and Yellowstone National Park as a whole will be affected by climate change. Grand Loop Road. The Grand Loop Road is a scenic drive that encircles Yellowstone's upper geyser basin. It provides visitors with stunning views of some of the park's most iconic features, including the Grand Prismatic Spring and the Old Faithful Geyser. However, the road is now over 50 years old and is in need of repair. The aging infrastructure is costly to maintain and is not designed to handle the heavy traffic that the park receives each year. Additionally, the road is prone to washouts and other damage due to the heavy rains and flooding that have become more common in recent years. To address these issues, park officials are planning to reconstruct the Grand Loop Road. The project will involve widening the road, improving drainage, and replacing the aging infrastructure. The project is expected to be completed in the next 5 years and will provide visitors with a safer and more enjoyable driving experience. As we look to the future of Yellowstone National Park, it's clear that it faces a variety of challenges. From the threat of volcanic activity to the impacts of climate change, Yellowstone's delicate ecosystem is under threat. However, there are also exciting possibilities ahead, such as the potential for new hiking trails and geothermal wonders to be discovered. The future of Yellowstone National Park will be shaped by the decisions we make today. By working together, we can ensure that Yellowstone remains a pristine and protected wilderness for generations to come. Whether it's supporting organizations that are dedicated to the park's preservation or simply spreading awareness about the importance of protecting Yellowstone, every little bit counts. We can all play a role in ensuring that Yellowstone National Park remains a shining example of the beauty and wonder that our planet has to offer. So let's all do our part to protect this national treasure and ensure that it remains a place of awe and inspiration for generations to come. Thanks for watching.